Doing well. This is RJ, live in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. This is one of the oldest settlements and towns in North Carolina. It's on the far northeast corner of the state of North Carolina. This is right off the Pasquotank River, and this is situated right here in a plaza right between the Pasquotank County Courthouse building right here that I'm going to go visit here in just a moment. There's some great little historical markers in the front, and also this federal building that's right here. Just further down this road is the Pasquotank River that runs into Albemarle Sound, which ultimately runs into the Atlantic Ocean. So right now, sharing with you this beautiful war memorial that is dedicated to the locals who answered the call, and they did their duty to serve and protect and defend their homes and their families and their homeland in the Confederacy. They did their duty. They did what they believed to be right. Many are buried in unmarked graves and unknown locations. It's important to have these war memorials like this, especially those who served right here in America, in a war that took place right here in America. Those who answered the call from this county, the county owes it to them to have a memorial, their service. So this memorial here dates back to 1911. It's been surrounded in controversy. It really shouldn't be. It was perfectly fine here for well over a century. The locals, the people cherished it. It represented their ancestors. It represented the locals. It represented the people who were soldiers, who were veterans. Truly a war memorial. As it says right here, to our Confederate dead, erected by the D.H. Hill Chapter, United Daughters Confederacy, Elizabeth City, North Carolina, May 10th, 1911. May 10th is a really important day in North Carolina. Most of the memorial services take place on May 10th. I was just at the Washington, the Confederate Memorial that was in Washington, North Carolina yesterday for a ceremony there. After the George Floyd issue that took place in summer of 2020, that whole issue took place way up there in a northern state, in a former Union state, way up in a Yankee state. There wasn't a Confederate monument within hundreds of miles of that place, but for some reason they wanted to start attacking Confederate war memorials down here, far away from any issues that had anything to do with George Floyd or anything else. And the NAACP and those other cancel culture woke Marxists wanted to remove this, started protesting. And they twisted the arm. I wish there were more adults in the room, but the county board, on a very narrow margin of only 4-3, voted to relocate this. Now they were going to relocate it, but there was some lawsuits that resulted in some lawsuits, and rightfully so, because there is a law on the books. It was placed there in 2015 in North Carolina that these memorials are not to be removed or relocated unless it's to an equally prominent location. And so it remained in limbo, and there was a businessman here in town who offered to take this. And the county board of supervisors voted to relocate this memorial right here to the private lands by this business owner on private lands. Well, that resulted in some lawsuits too, because after all, that also flies in the face and also breaks that law. Well, in the meantime, it still remains here. It was going to be removed, and suddenly the crane and the moving business decided to up their prices, and it was beyond the total cost, so it has remained here, and it should remain here. There's no reason why this should be removed. It's a beautiful location. So I'm going to make a transition now from this Confederate memorial, the monument, to the courthouse. This is right here, and there are some memorials and historical markers I think are worth noting. Now this county courthouse dates back to the 1880s, I like how there are some information here. And the courthouse that was here suffered the same fate as many other courthouses across the South and across Dixie when Union soldiers came through here. Basically, when Union soldiers came through here, they not only plundered and looted this area, but they also burned down this courthouse. There are many courthouses across the South that suffered that fate. But while I'm here, this historical marker right here speaks about a town that's divided. Universal panic and distress. By December 1863, almost everyone in and around Elizabeth City had enough of the violence and bloodshed. The final straw perhaps was Union General Edward Wild's raid that month. An ardent abolitionist, enthusiastic commander of African-American troops, Wild had a well-deserved reputation for an iron-fisted approach to guerrilla warfare. During his raid, he had hanged an alleged guerrilla beside the road with a placard, "This guerrilla hanged by order of Brigadier General Wild." Daniel Bright, Wild had taken white women hostages against the return of captured black troops, announced that guerrillas are to be treated as pirates, and promised to hang even the women if his captured men were hangs. "And you know, by this time that I keep my word," he wrote to a Confederate officer. You can read more about this right here. Now there is a historical marker on the other side. It speaks about Union soldiers plundering this area. But I'm glad there's a marker right here. It speaks about this courthouse and it's when it was actually dedicated. You can read right here in the front. Pasquotank County Courthouse, 1882. This is the 5th courthouse in the county, the second one on this site. Replaced the wooden building erected about 1799 and burned during the federal occupation of the city in 1862. Records dating from about 1700 were saved by Arthur Jones and hidden in a barn until the end of the war. That's the only way a lot of those records survived, is if people hid those records from those thieving Yankees. Once again, another courthouse burned during the federal occupation of the city, 1862. I started my day off in Washington, North Carolina, where that town was burned by retreating federal troops. And how they burned, and also that included churches and the storefronts and everything else. This isn't too far from Winton, where the entire town was also burned by Union troops. I like how this has a little bit of information on the front here. This has been here for a number of years, it looks like. But this gives you a little bit of a background. It says, historic events in Pasquotank, one of the original precincts of the ancient Albemarle. First Albemarle Assembly met at Halls Creek in 1665. George Fox established a Quaker church in 1672. Culpeper's Rebellion began at Enfield in 1677. Charles Griffin opened the first school in North Carolina in 1705. Lexington is chartered 1758. 2 regiments raised for the Revolutionary War in 1776. Camden County formed from Pasquotank County, 1777. Dismal Swamp Canal chartered 1790. Elizabeth City chartered 1793. I like right here as well. Have 2 memorials listing the names of those who served and died. I wish they do the same thing for those who served in the Confederacy. Dedicated to those who made the supreme sacrifice, in this case, World War I and World War II. Of course, if there was a listing of names of those who served in the Confederacy, it would probably be several plaques long. In this case right here, those who served in Korea and Vietnam as well. I like coming to these courthouses on the weekends, especially Sundays when there's not people here. I don't want to interfere with people. I like to be respectful as I can, but I don't want to. But there's only a certain moment you can take videos like this. So I prefer to come here when it's quiet on the weekends, but it doesn't always work out that way. I've even had judges come out once in a while questioning what I'm doing, and lots of police officers as well. But I think they understood after a while. I'm just here. I like history. I like to capture history and share it with others. So right down this road, this is the main part of the main street. Right at the end of this road, it runs right into the Pasquotank River. Once again, runs right into the Albemarle Sound, which then flows into the Atlantic Ocean. So I'm going to finish this up where I started, and that is here at this beautiful war memorial for those who served in the Confederacy, the Confederate Memorial or Confederate Monument. It deserves to remain here. You just need to have people who are elected and people in this county say, no, get away, cancel culture. That woke cancel culture was just a massive scam. Just another form of Bolshevikism, another form of Marxism. Just get away and leave these war memorials alone. Fix your own problems. Stop blaming issues on century-old memorials like this that predate your great-grandparents and your great-grandparents. So leaving us with you today once again, from here in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. So take care, y'all.